Oh hey guys, this video is not supposed to be organized at all. It's just a bunch of random ramblings of hopefully helpful information. If one of you finds this helpful, then I'm glad I made the video, but just thought I'd forewarn you. It's kind of all over the place, it's kind of terribly explained, and there's a really annoying fan in the background of the whole video that I tried to hide with an inspirational hip-hop non-copyright song, but I probably failed. Also, due to the unorganized structure of this video, I am going to leave timestamps in the description with all of the different topics, all the different questions, because I realize that some of you may just want like a particular question answered and you don't have to watch the whole video. I'm being nice. Check the timestamps out, but also watch the whole video so I can get more watch time to monetize my videos to achieve greatness. Okay, bye. Hey guys, it's Pickering Fitness. Today I'm going to give you everything you need to know about fitness, all the questions I think are relevant, with the answers that don't go on for like 3 hours. Nice try, you're still going on for 3 hours. You can't even summarize anything quickly. So I'm going to see if I can get the video under 10 minutes, hopefully. 100% not making a 10-minute video. Nice try. And help you guys out with everything in this one video. So first things first, ignore the circle. It's so I can see where I'm supposed to draw in the video. Nice circle, Pickering Fitness. That's almost as asymmetrical as your physique. Well, let's get started. Person. One of the most common questions are always, how do I gain weight or how do I lose weight? So here we go. It comes down to BMR. What's BMR? BMR is basal metabolic rate. Ignore the fancy name, it's pretty much your budget calories for the day or the amount of calories your body needs to consume to stay at its current weight. So, people always ask, Pickering Fitness, I just want to lose weight. Okay, what do I do? First things first, figure out your BMR. Go online, get a calculator, it'll figure it out. Make sure it takes into account your activity level because this is going to keep track of when you're moving throughout the day, how many calories you're going to burn. Once you have that number, you want to cut, watch this. BMR is maintenance. Cut, I'd say start 300 to 500 calories below this. You want to bulk? I'd say 100 to 300 calories higher than your BMR. Pickering Fitness, give us some numbers. All right, let's say your maintenance is 2,000. You're gonna want to bulk on 21 to 2,300 initially. Cutting, you want to go anywhere from 1,800 to, I can't do math, to 1,500. Deficit. Does that make sense? Next question. Let's say we got our BMR 2,500. That's our maintenance. And we're going to be cutting on 2,000 calories. How do we make this deficit? Now there's two different ways. I suggest you do both of them for your own sanity and for your own like long-term progression. So you could do minus 500 calories from your food. So eating 500 fewer calories. You could do 500 calories of extra exercise, or the best thing you can really do is do a mixture of both. So 250 from cardio and 250 from your diet. Minus 250 calories and then 250 calories of cardio. Pickering Fitness, what kind of cardio do I do? All right, two kinds. Low intensity, steady state, high intensity interval training. For the entire explanation of cardio, I have a video on my channel called Why I Don't Do Cardio. That will give you the full-on rundown of cardiovascular training, but this is just a brief synopsis. This is going to be done, heart rate pretty much stays the same, longer periods of time, maybe 20 to 40 minutes of like incline walking, stair climber, treadmill, all the fancy names. Going to be a little bit less taxing on your body, but pretty much the same effect. This one over here, intervals, so high intensity, low intensity, high intensity, shorter periods of time would be 10 to 20 minutes. Your heart rate is going to fluctuate at different parts. Pretty much same amount of calories burnt. This will be more time effective, as well as better if you're more into like an athletic development standpoint. With that being said though, HIIT's going to be harder to like recover from. It may be higher risk of injury just because like you're going more intense. As well as you may not have the energy when you're deep into a cut to sustain this. But either one, try it out and see which one you like better. Let's talk macros. What are macros? Carbs, fat, protein. They make up food, they contain calories. How many calories per gram of each? 4, 9, and 4. This is important. This is why McDonald's and fattier foods are higher in calorie. They're twice as calorically dense. Why does this matter? You want to have some sort of macronutrient split. That's what this is. So when it comes to just like a general population. So a good way to do this is figuring out your protein first, and then your fats, and then the rest of your calories will come from carbs. Okay, so when it comes to figuring out your macros, I'm not gonna figure them out specifically for you, but I'm gonna give you a good example. Now, for protein, 1 gram per pound of your body weight, okay? Fats, no less than 30% of your calories should come from fats. So 30%, and then the rest of your calories will be from carbs. Now, if you want to figure out the more in-depth way to do this, go watch my how to calculate your macros video, but this is pretty much what I would say for this. Now, in addition to this, if you're looking for like how to actually physically track your calories with like a smartphone app and a food scale, you can watch, I think it's called How to Stay Fit for the Holidays. Actually, forget it, just like click there or like click there. One of the things has a card on it. I'm gonna put it in at the end of the video, but I'm gonna explain it to you now because behind the scenes, bye. All right, let's talk about training. So first question I always get is like, Pickering Fitness, what should I do in the gym? And it's really gonna come down to firstly saying, how many days a week can you train? That's the most important thing. So first figure out how many days a week can you train. Now listen right now. If you can train 6 days one week and 1 day the next, and then you just are so inconsistent, that's not good. Find yourself a good number that you can sustain week to week to week, because consistency is always going to be the most like crucial factor in actually seeing progress. I'm gonna give you a couple examples here. Firstly, keep this in mind. Happiness is your #1 priority. So if you are happy doing a certain split, do it, because that's gonna cause you to be consistent, and consistency will lead you to more progress than the perfect workout. But let's look at these for example. If you have 3 days, my advice is a full body split. Because you're only gonna be able to train 3 days, you can hit it harder each of those 3 days, recover, and be able to hit the whole body. As opposed to if you have 3 days and you end up doing a chest day and like an arm day and like a back day, you didn't even train legs 1 week.
And you don't want to be labeled as the chicken guy, so train your legs, please.
So full body's good for that. If you have 4 days, my advice is a upper-lower split. So similar to the full body, upper-lower is just gonna be pretty much, you can hit it upper, lower, and then just rest whenever you want. Good way to kind of like really hit the upper body as well as the lower body, and not kind of like miss out on anything in the week. If you have 5 days, you can mix it up. You can pretty much do a bro split if you want, where you hit a different body part each day. I think people mostly do chest, back, arms, legs, and then shoulders, which is pretty much a good way to divide them. And then if you have 6 days, you can do something called a push, pull, legs. So push, pull, legs is pretty much your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps all pretty much do pushing movements. Your back pretty much does pulling movements, and your biceps, and then you have a leg day. You can throw in abs there, but pretty much the best bang for your buck is gonna be push, pull, legs. And with that being said, if you want to do a 3-day push-pull legs, you can. But just keep in mind that like full body 3-day is probably going to be better overall than a push-pull legs with only 3 days. All right, let's talk about reps, because I got a couple questions about how many reps should I do. First things first, reps on the exercise is going to depend on the exercise selection, as well as your goal, as well as when you perform it in a workout. So look at this. All right, so looking at this, we have 3 kind of different things. Now, when it comes down to goals, if you want to be a power lifter, if you want to train for strength, you want to be doing lower reps, somewhere in the 1 to 5 range for like just overall strength building. And when it comes to these movements, you kind of want to prioritize the strength, the compound movements, the heavy ones, the ones that you can essentially lift a lot of weight for. So stuff like squats, bench, deadlift, you can have an overhead press, and you can have some weighted pull-ups or rows, okay? Those are gonna allow you to lift a lot of weight and get really, really strong at those movements. When it comes to this rep range, you can pretty much do any exercise, but this is gonna be more towards like the hypertrophy or like getting more volume in. So stuff like dumbbell work, shoulder presses, bench presses, you know, like dumbbell rows, stuff that you want to train heavy on, but you don't want to kill yourself, but you also don't want to go so light. So stuff like dumbbell exercises. And then when it comes to this is where we talk about the exercise selection. So 12 plus reps, you don't want to be going heavy on something like a lateral raise. If there are exercises that use very, very small muscle groups, like your side delt, your rear delt, these are exercises that you don't really want to go so heavy on. You don't want to go up and do a 75-pound lateral raise. So this is where lateral raises come in, or stuff where you just want to get some extra volume in. All right, so looking back at this now, it's not very well explained. I want to give you like a real world example of like a chest day as how I would structure my workout with these different rep schemes. So I would go and I would probably do a 5x5, 5 sets of 5 reps on like flat barbell bench press, work on just building up my strength at the barbell press. Then I would kind of move on to maybe like some incline dumbbell work. I don't want to go so heavy with incline or dumbbells because it's like hard to get the dumbbells up and it's probably gonna hurt my shoulders. So I'll probably do maybe like 8 to 12 reps of dumbbell incline press, and that'll be getting me more volume in. And then like I'll do a couple more exercises, but then that whole like 12 plus range will come in at the end when I want to do something like a chest fly, a dumbbell fly, a pec deck, movements that don't really allow you to like lift a lot of heavy weight, and movements where like you want to probably focus more on the squeeze and the contraction than just like moving the weight. That's where you would kind of like structure those rep ranges. And then you would structure it in that order as well, from like lowest reps, highest weight, down to higher reps, lower weight, because you're gonna be stronger at the beginning of your workout. You wanna use as much energy as possible to lift heavy, and then as you go down, reps can increase. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I wanna kind of cover like this question. How do I lose weight, Pickering Fitness? What's the most easiest way? So, energy deficit, whether it's through food or exercise or both, that's what you need to do. Be in a caloric deficit. So if we were at 2,500, we'll go down to 2,000, okay? When it comes to training, you need to be lifting weights. A lot of people do cardio. Cardio is not really going to help you long term. Now, when you build more muscle, muscle is an active tissue. It needs calories to survive. The more muscle you have, the more your metabolism will actually increase. So a lot of those, skinny little girls who only have like 1,200 calorie metabolism, they start lifting weights, they start eating more, and that 1,200 calorie BMR will actually start to go up. So lifting weights equals more long-term weight loss because your metabolism is increased due to the lifting of the weights. Pickering Fitness, how do I burn fat and gain muscle at the same time? Is it possible? Yes and no. If you are beginner, overweight, on steroids, or you're detrained, meaning you've trained before but you let yourself go, yes, you can. Now, when it comes down to it, this is only gonna work for like maybe the first year or so of those particular situations. Then it's gonna be way, way, way harder to do this at the same time. So if you're a beginner, you can lift a weight and you'll just gain some muscle. If you have any little bit of like excess body fat, your body will start using that body fat to kind of like make up for the extra calories required due to the extra muscle you're gaining. That's why it works for overweight people and detrained people and people on steroids. With that being said, after your newbie gains are gone or after a year or so, you then have to decide, do I want to cut or do I want to bulk? And that's where you're gonna have to manipulate your calories more in order to get said effect. So if you're looking to gain muscle, you need to be in a surplus of calories. If you're looking to lose weight, you need to be in an energy deficit. All right, dirty bulk versus clean bulk. Sorry for the awful writing.
You're not sorry for the awful writing. You tried your best and you still failed. Maybe you should go back to school and learn how to write.
Pretty much a dirty bulk is where you just eat everything in sight. You're probably at least 1,000 calories over your maintenance, and you're just trying to like gain as much weight as possible. Clean bulk, I like to think of it as a very, very small surplus. So anywhere from like 1 to 500 calories above your maintenance. So plus 1,000 for the dirty and plus like 100 to 300 for the clean. At a certain amount of time, I'll show you one here, a caloric surplus is required to gain weight, but when calories go up, muscle gain goes up, but after a certain amount of time, muscle gain stalls because it's physiologically like not going to go up anymore. And if you keep increasing calories, this doesn't go up anymore, but fat loss goes up. So pretty much after a certain amount of time, there's no benefit to excessively consuming extra calories to gain weight. All this is going to do is actually put you farther back, because when it comes down to cut, you'll have way more body fat if you dirty bulked than if you clean bulked. So a mild caloric surplus, you may notice it's going to take longer to gain weight, but you are going to have less body fat with the same amount of muscle gained at the end of your bulk. Pickering Fitness, how do I get abs? I want to get abs. I want to have a six-pack. I want to look great on the beach. One of the most common questions, and the answer is, if you don't have visible abs right now, you need to decrease your body fat. Okay, we all have abs, and they are made in the kitchen. Doing a bunch of sit-ups, if you still have a fat covering your abs, is not going to make your abs instantly pop out. You may have a slight increase in the size of your abs, but if it doesn't have that lean look, you're not going to be able to see your abs. So when it really comes down to it, be in a caloric deficit like we always talk about, keep strength training, and slowly, you will shred some of your belly fat.
Pickering Fitness, cover your damn nipples. This is not a strip show.
Pickering Fitness, if I do sit-ups, am I gonna get rid of my belly fat? No, you cannot spot reduce the fat. A lot of girls wanna get rid of this, a lot of guys wanna get rid of this. I kinda wanna get rid of this, but you can't spot reduce where the fat comes from. It's gonna come down to genetics, and sadly to say, most of the time, the last place you're gonna lose your belly fat is on your stomach. Like belly fat, body fat on your stomach. So keep at it, and this relates to a question I got, which was how do I lose that last layer of fat? And when you think of it this way, either all of your fat is stubborn or none of your fat is stubborn. Just keep in mind that the first like 10 or 20 pounds, if you're trying to lose that, is gonna come off quickly. And then when you get down to a lower body fat percentage, it is gonna be significantly harder, but still possible to lose that last layer. So if you think that you're like, can't lose that last bit of fat, it's probably because you have unrealistic expectations of how long it should take. Your body doesn't want to get rid of body fat, it wants to keep it. So you really just have to be in a deficit for a while, doing everything properly to kind of get rid of that last bit. Okay, let's talk about supplements.
As always, a full video on supplements is there or there. I don't know where it is, but it's old, but I still stand by the advice in that video.
Now I'm gonna give you kind of the most basic ones, the most popular ones. We have protein powder, we have creatine, we have test boosters, and we have BCAAs, and we have pre-workout. All right, first things first, protein powder. Think of it as food. It's not really a supplement. It's mostly just milk protein or other forms of protein that can help you hit your caloric goal and your protein goal for the day. If you want it, invest in it. Creatine, one of the most studied supplements out there. Pretty much it draws extra water into your muscles. It gives you a couple extra ATP molecules, which pretty much allow you to lift maybe 5 pounds more, a couple extra reps, and it can make your muscles appear fuller. It works, but don't think it's magic, but try it out. Test boosters, bullshit, don't use them. BCAAs, kind of useful when it comes down to really cutting down. They can somewhat prevent breakdown of muscle if you're deep into a cut. But if you're someone just living their life regularly and you're eating enough protein, you don't really need it, so maybe.
Pickering Fitness, in what world is it like drawing an 8 7 times the symbol for use it or don't use it, it's up to you? Like, what goes on in your head?
Pre-workout, pretty much overpriced caffeine, but it does work. If you need pre-workout, invest in it, but keep in mind that psychologically, you could probably perform the workout just as well without pre-workout.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself you don't need pre-workout. Keep telling yourself that, buddy. And then I see you doing lines of pre-workout. Yeah, nice try. Nice try, Pickering Fitness. Psychologically don't need it. We'll see how you feel tomorrow. Pre-workout, Pickering Fitness. Nice try.
But I approve. Okay, so now I want to answer a couple of questions that I got on Instagram. I'm going to kind of give you a short answer.
I can't wait to see your attempt at short answers, Pickering Fitness.
As quick as possible, and if I need to write here, I will. So, what are some benefits of the front squat? It's going to allow you to be more upright, so less pressure on your lower back and more quad focus. How to work out at home? I pretty much have a full body weight exercise video. You don't need much, maybe a chair, and that's it. But go watch that, and you can do all the exercises for your full body at home. Creatine doesn't work, true or false? For the majority of people, it does work, but I think a lot of people also think it's gonna be magic. Creatine is just gonna allow you to kind of like have more water in your muscles, be a little bit more full, and maybe get 5 pounds extra or a couple extra reps onto your lifts. It's not gonna make you turn into a steroid junkie. Should you not eat after a certain hour? My grandma swears it's bad to eat later than 7 p.m. No, at the end of the day, total calories consumed in that day is more crucial than meal timing. With that also being said, weekly calories actually might matter more than daily calories. So if you end up binging one day, you could technically make up for that huge increase in calories by offsetting your other days of the week to match, to still be in a deficit. What are your thoughts on people using mass gainers? Mass gainers can work, things to keep in mind. They're kind of expensive, they're kind of just like loaded with sugar. And also this, some of them, you eat them and then you feel super duper full and you end up not eating for the rest of the day. I had personal experience, I had some mass gainers and I didn't feel like eating anything else. So they were kind of bad for being in a surplus if you don't eat anything else. But they can help. It's better to be in a surplus with a mass gainer than not be in a surplus at all if you're trying to gain weight. Can women work out on their period? Absolutely, just be careful and I guess. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You've been on your period your whole life, Pickering Fitness. No one is that miserable for no reason.
It's true that if you lift weights, you won't grow anymore in terms of height. I think that's false. There's been studies showing like kids lifting weights and stuff doesn't affect your growth plates. I think that improperly training can affect your growth plates, but it is kind of safe to do exercise and not have it make you shorter. Is there an optimal macro split, protein, fats, and carb for losing fat when being in a deficit? Yeah, the best thing to do is probably just what I said, which was figure out your 1 gram per pound of body weight, or even a little bit more, like 1.5 grams if you really want to cut down. And then 30%, no less than 30% for fats, and then the rest can be carbs. You could probably do 40, 30, and 30 for protein, fat, and carbs. How many rest days do you take, and do you eat the same on those rest days? Take the rest days that correlate with the split you're on. So if you're on a 6-day split, you have 1 rest day. If you're on a 3-day split, you'll have 4 rest days, I guess. But yeah, rest days are crucial though. One of the things I'll say about that is don't train 7 days in a row. Give yourself at least 1 day rest a week. Best form to build strength. Master the movements before you start strength training. So if you're doing a deadlift, try doing sets of 10 and just master the form, because you don't want to end up lifting heavy with the wrong form and then hurting yourself. Cardio before or after weights. If your goal is to lose weight and you're doing cardio for a calorie burning purpose, always do it after, because oftentimes you want to prioritize strength training, and a lot of people lack energy after they do 20 to 40 minutes of cardio, so do it after.
All right, folks, that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about today. I know there's a bunch of more topics I could talk about, and that's why I'm going to ask you to leave me a comment, like the video, subscribe, but actually leave me a comment with what else I should talk about, because it was kind of like an unprepared video, but I wanted to make the video. Let me know what other topics I can cover. There's so much more, like in-depth food, in-depth training, in-depth like techniques to make you be able to cut easier or bulk easier. So let me know, leave me a comment what you want me to talk about. I'll do that. I still feel really awkward like doing informative videos. I feel like it's not even me. I'm like awkward staring at the camera. Whereas like when I'm vlogging, I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? Spin move. There you go. See, I'm back. So, but I think it's good to put these mixtures of videos on here, informative as well as complete nonsense vlogs. So if you benefited from this video, let me know what you benefited from, like what part of it helped you, and let me know what I should improve on next time. But before I make the video any longer, I'm gonna sign off. No idea what the next video is gonna be. Maybe I'm gonna open up a bunch of packages from some random people who send me free stuff for no reason. Maybe I'm gonna quit vlogging altogether. I don't know. But before I make this too long, let's lie down over here and let's do a little peace, love, and tranquility. So thanks for watching, guys. Like the video. Let me know what benefited you. Let me know what I should cover in the next video, and I'm tired. Wow. 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 All right, peace, love.
Yeah.